So Shalom and I first met on an app called Coffee Meets Bagel. And so I've been online dating for a pretty long time, and honestly I was starting to get to that point where I was getting really exhausted. I don't know if I was meant to be married or not.
So I was online dating. I committed to online dating for the summer, and I was on a lot of different apps. And so I've been talking back and forth with a few people, and I just kind of knew the drill.
When I was going into my date with Shalom, it was like, I just gotta go put it all in. I don't know, I'm not gonna do anything like held back anymore. So I decided to be really honest.
The night before Michael and I were gonna meet in person, he sent me a message like, hey, just so you know, I know online dating is really rough, and I'm praying for you. I want you to know I'm praying for you, that the Lord is with me and He's with you no matter the outcome. And that was the first like, whoa, who is this guy? Like, what's he about type of thing. So we scheduled to meet at Starbucks.
So I went in there and I asked about all the most difficult questions.
We covered, the whole gamut.
View on women in the church.
Would you think about being a stay-at-home mom?
How to handle money.
Like, what do you think about adoption?
All these really tough questions that I thought was like really intense.
It was everything and like super intense.
But like she was just eating it up. She just kept like taking it in and throwing it back.
I was just being myself because clearly it was not working out.
It wasn't like she was holding anything back.
So I was just fully myself, and that's a little intense sometimes.
And when I asked her on a second date, it was just really surprising. Like she was like, what? Why?
What? Like, what is happening? And I just look at him, and I think that I was so shocked that I just stared at him.
And I know that for her, I don't know what she experienced fully, but I remember when I experienced it, I was like, you're interesting.
So that was the first like, oh wow, like he can handle my intensity when sometimes it's a little too intense. And so he was vulnerable first. He told me why he wanted to go on a date, and that really softened my heart to be like, wow, this dude is courageous. Like he's sharing his heart before I have to share mine. And so we scheduled a date further out to go to the MIA, the Art Institute. And then I think he realized it was so far out, he's like, well, let's go, for breakfast too, like in between that time.
And the second date was at like this coffee shop near my work.
At our second date, I know I was super nervous. The lady behind the counter was like, I really like your curly hair. And I was like, yes, thank you. I just talked to her for a while because I was so awkward to talk to this guy. And I sat down and he's like, I like your curly hair too. And I was like, oh, that's really cute.
We had the first date on a Monday, and then we already had our second date on a Wednesday. And so I was like, okay, what's gonna happen? So I got there, and I remember thinking, what should I order for food? Like, what's a really good food order? And I look at the prices, and I'm like, man, this place is really expensive. And so I remember thinking about what's the cheapest thing to get here without her thinking I'm super cheap. And so I remember getting like an egg sandwich. I'm like, okay, egg sandwich, definitely not cheap.
And this time it was way more chill. I got some questions in, which was great, and I got some answers, so that was fun.
It was different this time because it felt like it actually like resolved a little bit. Like we started asking about like friends, like who our closest friends are, what's our kind of family like, and I remember it was the first time I started showing her music.
And it was generally like super, super enjoyable, like sweet little corner in the wall, like sort of restaurant. And so then we were both already had planned to go to MIA later on in the week. So it was like a full week.
So we're kind of going fast, but I was like pretty confident. Like, this girl's awesome. I want to start dating her.
So I was pumped because this was on my summer list of things to do, was to go to MIA. So I show up, and he was like a little bit grumpy.
I remember it was a hard day. I had a bunch of clients that day that were not as fun.
I was like, maybe he had a hard day. What could I do to lighten the mood? So we walk up into the museum, and I thought, okay, one fun thing is to play like a fun game, because to lighten the mood, like he was clearly like had a hard day. I'm
like trying to show her some stuff and be kind of chill and somber, and she's like talking really loudly.
And I was like so excited to do this game because I love this game.
And it's being like, hey, what's your favorite one in this room? And I'm gonna pick one, and I want to see which one's your favorite one and guess it.
He looked at me like it was like this slow look of like, this is not how we do the museum. And I immediately was like,
and I remember being comfortable enough to say to her like, hey, I'm like super tired, and I don't want to be like really engaging.
So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, no big deal. But it was like a gut, because I love that game, and I was like just trying to make him have a happier time. I was like, great.
And I remember she was like really respectful about it, and I remember she was taken aback for a second, but it was like really meaningful that she was slowing down to be with me and to talk to me.
So I float around and I just like choose to enjoy the artwork. And I kind of float back to him every once in a while. And then towards the end, he was like, "Do you want to go grab dinner?" And I was confused because I thought we were supposed to have eaten before, and then I was even more confused because I was like, we clearly just had a very hard time in the museum. So why would we go to dinner? So I was like, yeah, let's go to dinner. Because I was like, what is happening?
And so we started walking, we were deciding to go get dinner, and we're going to this black sheep place.
At one point he goes, I don't think that you were being like authentic, or he said a word like genuine. I forgot what the word was, which is good, but he's like, I just don't know if you're being genuine in the museum. And I about lose it because my journey has been the Lord's given me strength to fully be myself no matter the outcome.
And I remember trying to resolve conflict about something. I remember we were just talking about just something that was going on between the two of us, and we just started having this like disagreement.
And then he said, what did he say? He said, I can't really care for you in moments like this because I don't actually know you like yet. And that helped me like calm a little bit down. And then we had so much fun laughing. It was so much fun.
I was really excited because it felt like things were resolving, that things were getting better. And I felt like she was doing a good job of matching my energy, and she was doing a good job of matching where we're at. And so for me, when we resolved the conflict, I was like, I want to be your boyfriend. So I asked her, like, do you want to be my boyfriend or my girlfriend? And she's like, what? And she took a second, and she's like,
what does that even mean for you? Just so confused. And he goes, it means that if we ever choose not to be like exclusive, like dating anymore together, then it would require like a sit down conversation. And I was like, great, like sign me up. I think I deserve that respect anyway, regardless. So yeah, I was like, great, I would love to exclusively date you.
And so at that point, we were exclusive, but we just kept going on dates like normal. But for me, it meant that I wasn't going on any more dates anymore, and I just wanted to just get to know her more. So that was the roller coaster week. It went from our first time at Starbucks together on that Monday to going to get egg sandwiches on Wednesday to having a conflict on Friday, resolving it, and being in a relationship. So that was our first week of dating.